I'm about to give you a mental test, and I need to warn you, most people fail it. Not because it's hard, but because it exposes something they've been hiding from themselves their entire lives. Your reaction to the next few questions will reveal whether your brain is wired for wealth or poverty. And here's the uncomfortable part. You can't fake it. You can't prepare for it. Your gut response, the one that fires before your conscious mind catches up, that's the one that tells the truth. Rich vs poor mind. The wealthy aren't smarter than you. They don't work harder than you. They simply process reality through a completely different mental operating system. And today, in the next 14 minutes, you're going to discover which system is running inside your head. We're going to walk through 10 mental checkpoints that separate the 1% from everyone else. Some of these will make you uncomfortable. Some will make you angry. But if you're honest with yourself, every single one will reveal exactly why your bank account looks the way it does right now. The test starts now. Here's your first question. When you see someone driving a brand new luxury car, what's the first thought that fires in your brain? Be honest. Did you think, good for them, I wonder what they did to earn that? Or did something else creep in? Something like they probably inherited it, or must be nice, or even that's a waste of money. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. That gut reaction, that split-second thought you had, it's not random. It's a diagnostic readout of your financial programming. Psychologist Carol Dweck at Stanford spent decades studying this exact phenomenon. She found that people with a fixed mindset see other success as a threat. People with a growth mindset see it as a blueprint. Threat or blueprint? The wealthy brain asks how. How did they do it? What can I learn? What path did they take? The poverty brain asks why. Why them and not me? Why is life unfair? Why do some people get all the luck? Same car, same moment. Two completely different mental programs running. And this is just the beginning, because the next test cuts even deeper. Second test, I want you to say this number out loud. $1 million. Now pay attention to what just happened inside your body. Did you feel excitement, possibility, or did something tighten? A little voice that whispered, that's not for people like me. Mirror. Your physical response to large numbers is one of the most accurate predictors of your financial future. Dr. Brad Klontz, a financial psychologist, calls these money scripts. They're unconscious beliefs about money that were installed in your brain before you turned 7 years old. Your body reacts to money before your mind even processes it. If your parents fought about bills at the dinner table, your nervous system learned that money equals stress. If they whispered about finances like it was shameful, you learned that money is something to hide. The wealthy grow up hearing money discussed as a tool, as a game, as something exciting to master. The poor grow up hearing money discussed as a problem, as something scarce, as something that causes pain. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep and how hard it works for you. Same currency, completely different emotional relationship. But this next test reveals something even more dangerous lurking beneath the surface. Third test, think about the last financial setback you experienced. A bill you couldn't pay, an investment that failed, a job you lost. Now ask yourself honestly, who did you blame? This answer reveals everything. Harvard researcher Julian Rotter developed a concept called locus of control. People with an external locus believe life happens to them. The economy crashed. My boss is unfair. The system is rigged. People with an internal locus believe they happen to life. I didn't prepare enough. I need to learn more. I'll find another way. The wealthy overwhelmingly operate from an internal locus of control. Not because bad things don't happen to them, but because they refuse to give their power away to circumstances. Internal locus of control. If this pattern is hitting close to home, if you're recognizing yourself in the wrong category right now, hit like and subscribe, because we are just getting started on reprogramming your money mind. Because the next few tests are going to shake you. When a wealthy person loses money, they ask, what did I miss? When a poor person loses money, they ask, why does this always happen to me? Same loss. One response creates learning, the other creates victimhood. And speaking of victimhood, what comes next might be the most uncomfortable test of all. Fourth test, when you get your paycheck, what's the first thing you think about spending it on? Be ruthless with yourself here. Is it something that pays you back in the future, or something that feels good right now? Stanford's famous marshmallow experiment proved something terrifying. Children who could delay gratification at age 4 went on to earn higher incomes, have better health, and builds stronger relationships decades later. The ability to delay pleasure is the single greatest predictor of financial success. The poverty mindset operates on a 24-hour clock. What can I enjoy today? What bill is due this week? The wealthy mindset operates on a 5 to 10-year clock. Where do I want to be in a decade? What moves today set up tomorrow's fortune? Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Poor people buy things that lose value the moment they swipe their card. Rich people buy things that gain value while they sleep. Same dollar, same 24 hours, radically different time horizons. And the next test is going to reveal why most people are physically incapable of making this shift, even when they understand it logically. Fifth test, imagine someone offers you a business opportunity. There's a 60% chance you'll double your money, a 40% chance you'll lose it all. What's your gut reaction? Risk vs safety. If your stomach dropped, if the fear of loss overpowered the excitement of gain, you just failed this test. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky won a Nobel Prize, proving that humans feel losses roughly twice as intensely as gains. They called it loss aversion. But here's what most people miss. The wealthy have learned to override this biological default. They don't feel less fear. They've trained themselves to act despite it. The poverty mindset says, I can't afford to lose this money. The wealth mindset says, I can't afford not to take calculated risks. The biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Every wealthy person you admire has a graveyard of failed investments behind them. The difference is they treated each failure as tuition, not tragedy. Poor people avoid risk to protect what little they have. Rich people embrace risk to multiply what they're building. In investing, what is comfortable is rarely profitable. Same opportunity. One mind sees danger, the other sees a classroom. But wait, because the next test exposes the invisible prison most people don't even know they're locked inside. Sixth test, when was the last time you did something that made you genuinely uncomfortable for the sake of growth? Not uncomfortable like a bad movie. Uncomfortable like your hands were shaking, your voice was cracking, your pride was on the line. Trapped. If you can't remember, you've just identified the cage you're living in. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman explains that your brain has a system called the amygdala that's designed to keep you safe. And safe, biologically speaking, means the same. No change, no risk, no growth. The poverty mindset mistakes comfort for safety, a steady paycheck, a predictable routine, the familiar struggle of living paycheck to paycheck. Comfort is the most expensive prison you will ever live in. The wealthy understand that growth lives exclusively outside the comfort zone. They've rewired their brains to associate discomfort with progress instead of danger. They seek the conversations that scare them. They chase the deals that keep them up at night. They volunteer for the failures that teach them the most. Comfort equals poverty. Your comfort zone isn't protecting you, it's containing you. And it connects directly to the next test, which reveals what you're actually doing with the hours nobody sees. Seventh test. Think about how you spent your last 3 evenings after work. Were you consuming or creating? What you do between 6 p.m. and midnight determines your financial future. Scrolling social media, binge watching shows, playing video games, these are consumption activities. They feel good in the moment but deposit nothing into your future. Now think about what the wealthy do with those same hours. Reading, building, learning, networking, creating. 1. The poor trade time for entertainment. 2. The middle class trade time for comfort. 3. The wealthy trade time for knowledge and assets. Thomas Corley studied the daily habits of 233 wealthy individuals and 128 poor individuals over 5 years. He found that 88% of the wealthy read for self-improvement daily. Only 2% of the poor did. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. The wealthy treat their free time as their most valuable investment vehicle. The poor treat it as an escape from the grind. Same 168 hours every week. One group uses them to build empires. The other uses them to recover from jobs they hate. Consume or create. And this leads us to something that most people have never even considered. The test that reveals the deepest layer of your financial programming. Eighth test, complete this sentence without thinking. I am the kind of person who blank. Whatever you just said is your financial thermostat. Psychologist Maxwell Maltz discovered something revolutionary in the 1960s. He called it the self-image. Your brain has an internal thermostat for how much success, wealth, and happiness you believe you deserve. And just like a thermostat in your house, if the temperature rises above your set point, your brain will sabotage you to bring it back down. You will never outperform your self-image. This is why lottery winners go broke. This is why people who grew up poor unconsciously push money away. Their identity thermostat is set to broke. The wealthy don't just think differently about money, they think differently about themselves. They see themselves as the kind of people who create wealth, who deserve abundance, who belong in rooms full of successful people. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your identity isn't who you are. It's who you've been programmed to believe you are, and you can change the program. But first, the next test will reveal the most toxic pattern of all, the one that guarantees financial stagnation. Ninth test. When you hear about someone your age who's already a millionaire, what happens inside you? Does inspiration rise up, or does resentment? Envy kills wealth. This might be the most revealing test of all because it touches something most people refuse to admit. The poverty mindset treats wealth as a finite pie. If someone else has more, that means there's less for me. The wealth mindset treats abundance as infinite. Someone else's success is proof that it's possible for me too. The way you feel about other people's money determines how much money you will ever have. Researcher Brené Brown found that scarcity thinking, the belief that there's never enough, is one of the most destructive mental patterns in modern society. When you resent the rich, you're telling your subconscious that wealth is something to be hated, and your subconscious is loyal. It will make absolutely sure you never become the thing you despise. Every wealthy person who triggers your envy is actually a mirror. They're showing you what's possible if you reprogram your response. Admiration opens doors, resentment locks them. And this brings us to the final test, the one that changes everything if you let it. 10th and final test. After everything you've heard today, are you going to do something about it? Or are you going to close this video and go back to the exact same patterns? Decide, because that's the ultimate test, not knowledge, action. You now know the 10 mental checkpoints that separate the wealthy from the poor. You know about the money mirror, the blame trap, time blindness, risk aversion, comfort addiction, consumption versus creation, identity thermostats, and the envy signal. Knowing is not enough, you must apply it. Here's your reprogramming protocol. 1. Catch your automatic money thoughts daily. 2. Replace every blame response with ownership. 3. Extend your time horizon from weeks to years. 4. Do one uncomfortable thing every single day. 5. Spend your evenings creating instead of consuming. These aren't just tips. This is a complete mental rewiring. The wealthy weren't born with different brains. They installed different software through deliberate daily choices. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. You've seen the test. You know where you stand. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? If you made it this far, comment Wealth Code if you're ready to delete your old programming and install a new one. Wealth Code activated. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it.